Hit record? That would have been a good rant to have, by the way.
I have hit record. Hi, everyone. It's Live with Maria. I don't have anything fancy prepared. I don't have music or, title card or anything like that. I was going to do that, but we'll have to get to that later. This is a pretty low budget show. And so we had, me and the mouse in my pocket, had so much fun just rambling that I thought I'll bring another friend on who also rambles. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you Russ Vaclaw. Bye, Russ Vaclaw.
Thank you for inviting me to your program that 5 people will be watching this morning.
Well, you know what? You never know.
If you and I are at a coffee shop and we're talking and we're just chit-chatting, people are going to be listening in on that conversation anyway. So we might as well just go with this. It's the next best thing.
So, yes, exactly. That's kind of what I was thinking. I thought
the 5 people at the coffee shop will be tuning in on this and listening to what we have to say.
Well, remember that happened one time. You and I were at the coffee shop and we were talking about dumb stuff. And we just started talking to the people next to us. I
remember that. I thought it was actually quite fun.
It was quite fun. I don't even know what we talked about. So
a virtual coffee shop. That's what we need. This is our moneymaker during this pandemic.
How do we monetize this?
Yeah, you probably don't. Somebody's already done it. It's called.
We can tell someone we can give people our Cash App or our PayPal if they want to just throw money at us.
I think it's Russell-Vaclaw on Venmo. Go right ahead.
You have it ready to go. I don't know what mine is. You don't have to pay me. Donate to your favorite cause. Yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just want you to know that I have known Russ Vaclaw since 35. Pardon?
Since Moby Dick was a minnow.
Since Moby Dick was a minnow. I was going to go with around 35 years, somewhere around there.
Probably.
And he was not always, but he is now one of my very best friends. And I am used to seeing him at least once a week.
We were always friends. Wait a second. We'll go back to that. We were always friends. Day one, we've been friends.
We were always friends, but you weren't one of my best friends.
Maybe it was different from your perspective, but I'm glad to know that after 35 years. Go ahead.
Russell Coleman Vaclaw. We were not best friends in junior high. Although
my best friend in junior high.
Although we were this. What do you think about that?
Isn't that funny? What is that? Back of your little flapper there. What was that flapper for? What did it do? Did it protect you from the wind? Did you pull it up on your head? I didn't get those.
I don't know. I don't know what the cheerleading flap was for. It was just so that they could put cheerleader on the back. But that was 1987. We both won the award for most school spirit.
I wasn't Mr. School Spirit, but
I don't know why you got that.
I don't know either.
I was.
You were totally. Because our senior year was you and Derek Boyd, because Derek had a basketball on his head. He cut out a basketball, put it on his head, and it was you two leading the brew crew.
Well, I don't know if I was a leader, but I was definitely in the brew crew.
You're right. J.B. Caldwell was a leader.
Yes, he was. Still to this day. So I want to ask you this. What is the first memory that you have of me? Because I know what my first memory is of you.
I think honestly, funny, I think it's at Tony Coverage's party.
Oh, really?
In the Ramada Inn swimming pool. I think because that's where I met all the St. John people.
I don't remember that.
That's where I met all the St. John's people.
Well, I'll tell you what my first memory of you is.
Oh, go ahead. This can be bad.
I was in The Wizard of Oz.
Oh, yes.
With Roberta Gay.
Mm-hmm.
And I was one of the main munchkins, and Tyler Vaclaw.
Roberta Gay is my mother, by the way, just so.
Yes, your mother. She was one of the witches.
She was one of the witches,
right?
Which is, yes, she was. And I think she had like dual roles. I think she did that and she did something else, but yeah.
Yeah, and my mom was one of the witches, I think, too. I think she was in it, too. And also, your sister was, do you remember?
She was Dorothy.
Yeah, your sister was Dorothy.
That's right.
And your brother Tyler was also in the show. He was also a Munchkin, and he was probably in 4th grade, is my guess. So this would have been before 1985. And he had tights on. And all I remember was that you and Tony Cubbage were watching us in the audience and laughing because you were laughing. You were laughing at, presumably you were laughing at Tyler.
My brother was in tights. Why wouldn't I laugh?
Right, yeah. But that is my first memory of you, is sitting in the stage, sitting in the audience when we were on stage.
I vaguely remember this.
Yeah. Anyway, so
I got cut from that. Funny enough, I got cut from that that play. They didn't want me. I
really?
I think we went in for auditions, and it was me, Chris Batchelder, and Jessica Delhay, now Butler. I think we all sang at the same time, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know that I knew them too. I think it was Jess. And just for the record, they bombed, and it came out on me. That's what happened. They did an awful job, and they judged me for what those two did. I got kicked out. But
wow.
Who's the actor? Who's the thespian now?
Okay, so why don't you tell our viewers why you think you are a thespian?
They know.
How many?
Well, Maria, you see, I was in a movie with Ben Affleck, Javier Bardem, Rachel McAdams, Olga Kurylenko.
Really?
Yeah. The Village Voice named it the worst movie of the year, but that doesn't matter.
But it also won an award at the Cannes Film Festival.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Did it win Cannes, or was this some other?
No, I don't think it won. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So my kids are here, and I threatened them with, bodily harm if they interrupted, but they don't care. So anyway, no.
You need to tell your viewers of the 4 of them. You need to tell them that we talked yesterday about doing this. You wanted to do this, and so I thought yesterday was the interview, and it was way funnier than this is ever going to be, because we were arguing our butts off about why you shouldn't be recording that, and now this. So go ahead. All right.
No, this has potential to be also humorous.
All right.
So okay, here's what I want to know from you. For all of you that don't know or don't know Russ, I have friends that may watch this that don't know you. They don't know that you are the Associate District Judge for Washington County.
Okay.
So tell us what you've been cooking since all of this started. What are you making that's delicious?
You need food?
Yes, food, please. Not anything else you're cooking.
So I made this lasagna the other day that was fantastic. It's been forever since I've made lasagna. It's kind of hard with the noodles and the whatever, but it was fantastic. And the way I can judge that is because my son Mac he's an eater. He loved it. And then the people upstairs, Mark and Debbie Haskell, who I love, loved it too. And they wouldn't lie, so they liked it.
Okay, so tell me where you got this recipe.
BuzzFeed Tasty. All good recipes are on BuzzFeed Tasty. They have videos for it. They have, if you go to it, you can download the app. You can add if you don't have the stuff, you can add the items to your grocery list and do whatever recipe. They have tons of recipes. So here's the other thing I tried. This didn't work out. So I'm a big cookie guy. My cookies are fantastic.
I've heard this, but
yeah. Okay.
You're no 3 kids and a cake.
They named the cookie after me, for the record. So
not because you made it. You didn't make it.
I gave them the idea for it. Listen, get Annie on here, right? Can you add a person to this? And she'll tell you. So, Ghirardelli chocolate squares, inside chocolate cookies. It's just the greatest thing ever. So I started to think, okay, well, let me put some other things in there. Like I think I put, or I talked to them into putting some like cream cheese filling inside one. It was good. But what I did is I took, what do you call it? Speculoos cookie butter.
Oh, yeah. Speculoos, right?
Yeah. You roll it into a ball. You put it in the same way I would the Ghirardelli square, and put that inside a cookie. Well, it tastes like a Nutter Butter is what it ended up tasting like, but wasn't as good as I thought it would be.
All right. Well,
Is that really exciting stuff? I mean, that's,
it's not super exciting. No, you were much funnier yesterday. Okay. So tell us, I don't
Is
think
this
it's my
live?
fault.
Hold on. Is this live?
No, we're recording it.
Okay. So you can edit all that out. Good.
I could. Okay, tell people how you work as a judge during a pandemic.
We're not doing much. There's not a whole lot going on. It has more to do with who's the emergency, who needs to get out of jail, things like that. And then I say get out of jail. Somebody needs to be sentenced. They've been there long enough, and they can just be sentenced, and we can get them out. And then the one thing that we're doing, I do drug court. And I love the people in drug court. It is an alternative to jail. They see me on a weekly basis. Some a little further out if they're a little more advanced. And we've been meeting in Johnstone Park in Bartlesville.
So you posted pictures of that. What do you do? They just like a drive-through check-in?
Actually, in the Daily Oklahoma, Oklahoma's premier newspaper, but you wouldn't have to advertise that. I have to. So yes, we do a.
Is there room enough in that back patio for you and your ego? I'm not sure. Do they both fit comfortably in that chair?
So,
go ahead.
As I was saying, no. So Johnstone Park, we just have all the cars line up, and there's 5 of us on the drug court team, and we're out of our cars, and they just come driving up, and we wave them on, and they always crack a little joke, saying I'd like some fries with that, stuff like that. But, which I appreciate their sense of humor, for keeping it positive. But anyway, so we do that and hold court that way.
That's good. All right. So what about do you have any, what if you have to do like a little arraignment from the jail, or do you have video capabilities?
We do that by video, and then everybody else is seen either by a judge over the weekend or their case reviewed, and then if they bond out, they're set for some time in May now.
So, all right, more crime, less crime, same crime during all this?
I don't know. That's something I think we'll find out later. I would have to think that the same things are going on, but we're not able to do the same things. I don't know. I see our police. I talk to them. They're out there working. They're doing their jobs, but people are probably not able to go to a park and do a drug deal, for example. So what will they do? They'll find another way, and it might be a little bit harder for us to see it. And breaking into cars, things like that, are probably gonna be easier to spot because people aren't going to be out. And you see somebody walking down the street, maybe it raises a red flag, whereas several months ago it might not have.
So the message is, it's not a good time to do any crime. I mean, it's never a good time to do any crime, but I'm sure there's lots of criminals watching this.
Yeah.
So what's been the hardest part of social distancing for you?
Lunch was always my therapy. I'd go with friends.
Yeah, because you don't like people, really. So this is probably working out okay.
You made that clear to all your viewers, the 4 of them. Not a fan of people. No, I love people.
You like people.
I love my people.
Well, no, here's the problem. I tell you this all the time. The problem is that you actually do like people. And so when they do things that, are frustrating, it's extra frustrating because you want to really like them. I think that's my armchair psychoanalysis of you. But anyway.
Well, my dream would be to be more like Larry David. Right?
To be more honest when you talk with people?
Critically honest. And when I'm talking to people, you're at a stop sign and somebody's, taking their time. I want to roll down my window and tell them exactly what they're doing. And that's one thing I wish I could do better at.
As someone,
somebody's like you go to Krispy Kreme donuts and somebody's there saying, what do I want here? There's nothing else here to want. You get the glazed donuts and you move on. Their chocolate donuts are that good. The stuff they have is not that good. Get out of the way. Order the glazed donut or not.
Make your decision. Right. Get it.
That's what I wish I could say to people.
Right. Well, as someone who does go to
people I hate, a person who I hate is somebody who goes to Krispy Kreme donuts and gets something other than the glaze.
Really?
There's nothing there that's good beside the glaze. Now
I disagree.
You go to Grayson's Donut down here.
Now Grayson's? Man, I haven't had a Grayson's donut in a few weeks, and I need to get one. Okay, but I want to go back to the Krispy Kreme. I do like the chocolate cream filled.
Oh my goodness. You can get that anywhere.
No, you can't. It doesn't taste the same as it does at Krispy Kreme. My husband doesn't like Krispy Kreme at all. He thinks he is solid Dunkin' Donuts.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm just telling you that when you go to Krispy Kreme Donuts, you don't go there and say, what's on the menu? You don't do that.
No, right.
You know what you
I don't go in and guess. I go in and say, I want a half a dozen glazed and I want a couple of those chocolate cream filled. Done.
When I see a person at Krispy Kreme sitting there with their finger on their chin, they're going, what about that one? That's the person I want to yell at and tell them to get out of that store. They don't deserve to be there.
So go back to, you were going to talk about when I asked what the hardest thing was about social distancing. And you said lunch was your therapy. And as one of those people that goes to lunch with you on occasion, you know, I don't remember what I was going to ask about that, but
well, you're saying, what do I do now?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I go to Krispy Kreme and yell at people selecting donuts.
You don't do that.
So it's actually been kind of nice and peaceful. There's been some changes in my life, as you know, but I seem to be finding stuff to do. I'm not just sitting down, watching YouTube all day or anything like that. I'm trying to stay active.
So you did yoga yesterday.
I did. I do yoga as much as I can.
Once a day?
No, I can't do it. If I could do it once a day, I suppose I could. But you could go on YouTube probably. I know one of the ladies is my teacher, Ashley. She's got some videos on YouTube. I can do it every day. I kind of feel break it up a little bit.
I did one of Ashley's classes last weekend on YouTube, and I was sore for the next day.
Really?
It was a lot. Well, but it was because I hadn't done anything for a while. So that was part of it.
I enjoy doing yoga, but I've kind of gotten back to running a little bit. My knees are starting to be able to take it. Where I'm at here downtown, it's nice and flat, so I don't have to run up too many hills. So here's the problem. All of us have the same problem. What the hell do you do with 24 hours in a day now that you don't have work to go to? And it's kind of nice. I mean, we lived a life thousands of years ago where we didn't have to, at 9 o'clock, I got to get up and go to work. We're not built for that. And so this has kind of caused us to find ways to stay active. I see a lot of people out walking. I see a lot of people out, just driving around. For my birthday, we went driving around and just drove around town and, whatever.
So tell everybody what you were supposed to do on your birthday.
Oh, Pearl Jam.
Pearl Jam. Oh, that's the dog started barking.
Yeah, I heard.
I have two black and tan coon hounds.
I heard the dog barking. Pearl Jam. That was actually on April 6th, which would have been Katie Spencer's and Derek Boyd's birthday, because I know their birthdays are very close to mine. We were all supposed to go to, not together, but we were all going to go down to Pearl Jam in Oklahoma City, and this freaking thing happened.
So when did you start really getting into Pearl Jam? Because you love some Eddie Vedder.
It was when they came out. It was 10. I mean, when 10 came out in 1990, maybe 1991, I was hooked. That was it. That was my jam. That was everything. That was, it was a new sound. It's kind of a new old sound. Very almost like 70s or classic rock sounding in some ways. And I was hooked from that point on.
That was it. And now
play some songs for you.
Yes, we would love to hear some songs. Please delight us. All right, so let's get to something serious.
Yeah, it's serious.
Who is your favorite Disney princess?
Yes, you were gonna say.
Well, I mean, or you can choose. Which do you prefer, Belle or Bueno?
Well, Belle. Yeah, Belle is my favorite Disney princess.
See, there you go.
And
Easy.
I would choose Belle. And I would choose Belle over Bueno.
You would choose Belle over Bueno.
I would.
Really?
I would.
Okay, I got to ask you this though, because my experience has been, now that I am in my 40s, it probably started in my 30s.
40s, yes. Go ahead.
Taco Bell is causes some issues.
Well,
It's
yeah, maybe, but I mean,
it's not the same as when we were in our 20s and we went like at 2:00 in the morning.
Here's the truth, or la verdad, acerca de Mexican.
Oh, what was that? What language are you speaking? I'm not familiar with your Spanish.
Like, being of Mexican descent, you wouldn't know that. I happen to know it. But the truth of it is expensive Mexican food is not good Mexican food. You want the cheap Mexican food, and Bell is cheaper than Bueno, and it always works out. Pizza can kind of be like that. Sometimes the cheapest, greasiest pizza is better than the real fancy stuff. Right?
Okay, well, I would disagree that Bell's better than Bueno, but I do agree that the cheap stuff, like if you go to like the little Mexican market type places and just get simple taco beans and rice, that is the stuff.
Yeah.
Agreed.
So, and I think that's when you're talking about Mexican food, that's a certainty. The more you spend for Mexican food, the worse it's going to be.
Okay, but have you been to any of Rick Bayless's restaurants in Chicago?
I went to, it's called XOCO or something like that. It's Hoco in
Doco,
Chicago.
something like that, yeah.
Yeah, in Chicago, and it was different. But even when I'm eating that, I'm like, this is just spicy food that has a Mexican name. It's good food, and he knows what he's doing. But I don't see that as Mexican food. I just don't.
Well, that particular restaurant, though, I think is more of like a elevated fusion type. It like, wasn't like I went to Frontera, which is supposed to be more like the real, you know.
Yeah, Frontera is like his high end. Like he's from Oklahoma. I
do, and his brother Skip, I think, was like a sports guy in Oklahoma City.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now he's like a national guy. Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah.
Here's more lightning round.
All right.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Always coffee. Chinese or Mexican food?
Mexican food.
Steak or sushi?
Oh, steak. Ugh, gosh, there's some good sushi out there though.
You know, I have a friend that said that they might bring me some sushi in the next couple days.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Sorry. I went to Sprouts for the first time ever, and Sprouts I don't think they have sushi, but I know Target, which is very close to it, does. And I was going to get you Target sushi because you were complaining about not having sushi. So
yeah. Oh, and my husband.
Target sushi.
My husband asked about that. So
I brought the boys some sushi from Target, and Max,
if you happen to go that way again,
okay.
I would really like some. Have you had the sushi at Food Pyramid?
Do they have sushi at Food Pyramid?
They used to. I haven't gotten any in a while there, but when they first did it, it was not bad. I mean, we didn't get anything raw. We got,
is it made there?
I think it says it's made there. I think so. But now Homeland owns Food Pyramid, so I don't know what's going to happen with all that. So
can I give a little tip to the 3 or 4 viewers you have watching this?
Yes, please go right ahead.
So I went to, I've done the Walmart thing during this pandemic. I've tried to do the online shopping. It's impossible to get a time. I want to avoid going places and going into places, but put on your mask, put on some gloves, bring your wipes, whatever. Go into a Homeland or United on the other side of Bartlesville. Easy peasy.
Well, not that I want to give away all the secrets, but if you go log on to Walmart grocery at midnight, you can typically find a time. It may not be the next day. You may have to wait.
That's fine.
But there are more options if you go on at midnight.
But you can't get toilet paper doing it that way. They don't do that. No. I don't get that. Why? Let's go back to this.
No, please talk about why you don't like people and the toilet paper.
The toilet paper thing. The toilet paper thing. This pandemic is not causing anybody to shit more. So why is it so hard to find toilet paper?
Okay, so let me break it down. This is what I think people are doing. So whenever we're snowed in, right, everybody wants to go get bread, milk, toilet paper, because they're afraid they're going to be shut in and they don't want to have to do without these basics, right?
Okay.
So I think it comes from being like the snowstorm thinking that, you know, we've gotten shut in. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get toilet paper. So they hoarded the toilet. I think that's where that came from. I don't think they think they're going to have diarrhea. I think
but it's all flawed thinking. It's all flawed thinking.
Well, I don't disagree.
I mean, common sense says have some things stored up. Bread, you can't really store. Milk, you can't really store unless you get powdered milk. You know, you always have something stored up. But even now, you know, now what's happening is if you see toilet paper sitting on the aisle, you've got to take it. Because
you don't know when you're going to get it again.
And that's what this has caused, all foolishly, without need. And then the people that were throwing it onto their trucks and, you know, let me throw in 10 packages of.
So what is your toilet paper situation?
I can show it to you if you want. I'm doing okay. Thank you for asking. Doing okay.
I'm glad. Yeah. Hey, did you know that I'm not lying. I had a relative named Virus Norman. That was like an ancestor. And I just think that during this pandemic, perhaps your new nickname should be Virus.
Okay, listen, Maurice Wassmiller's already tried this joke. I didn't think it was that funny. But she gave that joke and she was like, ha, 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 ha. And it's not that funny. My name's Russ.
So anyway, Maurice actually told me that, and I said that was comedy gold. So it made me laugh. I'm sorry that you don't like it, but it's pretty funny.
Your version of comedy is a little different from mine, and from seeing your act, I'd say so. Oh gosh, that was funny. Okay,
that is hilarious. Don't quit your day job. Okay.
By the way, I gotta say for your 3 viewers, you are funny. When I've been to your some of your shows, it is funny. All right.
I'm occasionally funny. The funniest thing was the joke that I made the other day with the 2 fingers, but we can't. If you remember, I'll tell you later. That's another.
Okay.
One. So.
Hey, by the way, can you do gang signs, like West Coast?
I can do West Side, but that's it. I don't know.
Blood.
I can't do the Crips and Blood. No, I can't do that. I'm a 46-year-old Mexican-American woman. Nobody cares that I can.
No street cred. Get some street cred. And then you can start.
Nobody cares.
And then when you do it, you kind of have to throw it up. You have to kind of bend the wrist a little bit, and you kind of got to wave it. And then.
Yeah, I don't know. This is bad. We're gonna.
You got to bounce the blood.
No, we're bringing in undue attention on that. Don't stop what you're doing. White man, stop. So, okay, let's talk about high school.
It's sad because I'm too old to flash a gang sign because I got arthritis in my fingers.
That's right. Welcome to Snoop Dogg's world. He probably can't do it either anymore. That's why he hangs out with Martha Stewart now. So let's talk about high school, because we did go to high school together. There's a whole lot of people that graduated high school with us that we're still really good friends with. You know, people like you mentioned, Jessica, Delahaye Butler, Chris Batchelder just moved back.
For the record, Jessica Delahaye Butler just goes by Jessica Butler, but sometimes with the women, it's a little bit easier to remember that last name than Right.
Well, I was just saying that for context.
Not Hillary Rodham Clinton. She's just
no,
Jessica.
She just goes by Jess Butler. Yeah. And
say, you know what? I'm gonna keep a hold of this Delahaye because I don't really like that Butler. That she wanted to go with just Jess Butler. All right.
Just Jess Butler. Right. Correct. So, you know, Craig Wassmiller graduated high school with us. The late, great Spence Rigdon graduated high school with us. Lots of great people. So tell us a high school story, Russ. Tell us something funny from high school. What do you remember?
In a little prep meeting, you didn't tell me about this one. I mean, this is a lot of pressure to think back. I mean, I have great memories of high school. And you know, there's some stories I've been sworn to secrecy on that I cannot tell. But I think some of my funniest moments were probably with Batchelder, Bob, and Matt Houston and some of the guys when we would do like Farkle Dare, where you'd play the Farkle game, dice game, and you'd have to have a dare on the end of it. And the one that never got played was the one that we think would be the funniest, and that was that somebody had a Speedo, like a little skimpy, like not a swimmer Speedo, even though those are skimpy, a skimpy.
Oh, like a thong?
Yeah. I don't know if it's a thong, but it was a skimpy Speedo. And the Farkle was going to be, and again, the Farkle is you roll the dice, and whoever loses that game has to do the dare.
Okay.
I can give an example of one that I can tell, and it was like, Dan Buckles, I remember we had to, the loser had to go in and get into a fight with himself at Skaggs Alpha Beta or Albertsons, whatever it was at the time.
Skaggs Alpha Beta.
Then we had some scrubs that somebody had. We took the scrubs and two had to go in to act like they were going to arrest or return the guy back to his mental facility. And that happened. So this crazy guy's talking to himself with a pink flamingo tucked into his shirt. Buckles was doing that. And in come, I think it was Bob and Batch with the medical stuff on, and it freaked people out. And Bartlesville, one cop gets called, all cops get called.
They're all going, yeah.
They all showed up, yeah. But the one that never was done was like the Speedo at Sooner Pool on a hot day. Had to be like we were going to play out. It had to be a hot day. The loser was going to have to wear the Speedo with like a cucumber or something tucked into it and walk all the way. And that's a long, long pool.
Yeah, it was long, yeah.
Yeah, not the cucumber. I'm talking about the pool. The pool you can get all the way around.
Right.
You had to do that in that Speedo, walking all the way around. And that we never did that one. That might be a regret that I have. That we never played that one to its fruition. But those were the types of things we did. And it was just fun. I had a lot of fun.
What about the mid-high? What do you remember about the mid-high?
I remember kind of being chaotic.
Yeah, maybe a bit. Yeah. I remember your brother yelling at me. I have this distinct memory of Tyler yelling at me. I've told him this before. Down the stairs. He was just being a smart aleck. I remember the cafeteria being chaotic and everybody in there going to the little hallway to eat a snack. Mr. Jared, the late, great Mr. Jared, used to call me out of class every once in a while to kind of get a feel for what was going on in the school. Like,
oh, really?
Hey,
you were his...
Yeah. Hey, what's going on? What's the word? What's happening?
It's funny. So a couple things from mid-high. I remember like the little, if you didn't want to eat in the cafeteria, you could go buy like a bag of chips and a Coke for like $1.
Yes.
And so I would like eat Cheetos and have Cheetos dust all over my hands all day. And that, yeah. But I also remember, this is one of those little life lessons that's fun. The last time I ever cheated in school was at the mid-high. Because I can't remember the teacher, but she kind of had that little duck hair in the back, She's a blonde lady, had duck hair in the back. If any of the three people are
the
watching,
Spanish teacher?
Yes.
Mrs. Osterman.
Look at you. So I cheated on that test, which is funny. I cheated on the Spanish test, and I'm now more fluent in Spanish than you are.
What? Why?
So
you know Spanish. You're so smart.
I did this. So she drags me down to, I think I just got stone cold busted. Dragged me down to Mr. Jared's office. You know what Mr. Jared said to me?
What?
I'm not going to punish you. What you need to do is you have to go home. Now, I'm going to follow up on it. I'm going to check. You have to go tell your parents what you did.
He was smart. He knew.
And I did. It was the last time I ever did it. Never.
Wow.
Never. I mean, I certainly would have ever done that in like law school or anything like that. But it's just.
How did you cheat? What did you like have stuff written on your hand, or what was the cheating?
I mean, I can't remember what I did. I might have just been like copying paper from somebody else. And the way she saw it is, yo engañé de una otra persona.
I don't know what that means.
I know you don't. But I'm just,
you know what? You're a jerk. You're a jerk to me. And I do speak a little Spanish and I understand things. And you really like to make fun of me because I'm not fluent. Because I didn't live in Chile for 2 years.
Chile.
Yeah. Evan just said, "Stop being a jerk to my mom."
I'm sorry, Maria.
No, it's all good-natured ribbon. So I have a little group chat that I'm on, and I miss you guys too. I was telling some people that I have this group of friends that I go to lunch with on occasion, and one of the things that I love about it is that we give each other a hard time, and we haven't done that in a while. So this group chat, we've been giving each other a hard time, and it made me think of you guys. It was a good thing.
So that's, honestly, that's one of the therapies that I had at lunch. I'm not kidding, because, I don't know, it feels good to go. I've always felt like since I became a judge, my jokes are funnier, I'm taller, I've lost weight. This is how it works, right?
We needed to bring you down.
I agree. That's what I need. Real is what I need. I need people to keep it real.
Yeah. Well, I take that duty very seriously.
Well, now the 3 people who are watching this are now going to talk crap on me, and that they're going to think that, just helping out.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Well, I like to tell people all the time not to give you too many compliments, because, that's how that should go.
So that's why people quit being nice to me.
That's exactly why, because I have that kind of power. Okay, so I'm trying to think of something that I remember about you in high school, but okay, here's what I remember. I remember in junior high, everybody had the, like they either got a boz cut or they had like the little mullet, and you have naturally curly hair. So you had, people were very jealous of your little curls, I think, in the back.
Didn't need no perm.
You didn't need a perm. Nope. You were able to just, that they were striving to be like you with your little, I remember that. I'm trying to think what else I remember.
So, it's funny because the thing that was so funny, I remember 2 things vividly about you in high school. One was Brew Crew. You were like always there, like being loud and doing whatever. But then 2
was fun.
The junior miss pageant. I don't know why, but did you stand up on a table and sing?
No, I think Andrea did that. I sang. No. I didn't sing. Although I should have, because I feel like if I would have sung, I would have gotten something. I did acting. I did the monologue from Taming of the Shrew. Fie, unknit by threatening unkind brow, and dart not those scornful glances with those eyes. Something like that.
If we are marked to die, we aren't enough to do our country loss. But if to live, the fewer men on thee. I pray thee, wish not one man more. No.
What's that from?
Henry V. I keep going. Proclaim it westward through my host. He who hath no stomach for this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crown for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company who fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He who outlives this day will stand at tiptoe when the day is mentioned and arouse him at the name Crispian.
Oh, are you done?
No. Rouse him at the name.
Can't remember it? Okay, what's this from?
Then shall he feast his neighbors. Then shall he, on the morrow he shall feast his neighbors. Then shall he strip his sleeves and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispin's day. Old men forget, yet all shall be forgotten, but they will remember with advantages what feats they did that day. Then shall our names familiar in their mouths as household words. Harry the King, Bedford and Exeter, Gloucester and Salisbury being their flowing cups freshly remembered. This story shall, I can keep going.
Stop. Okay, I'm so sorry. You want
to stop?
Okay, so since you're an actor.
Crispy shall never go by for this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today who sheds his blood with me shall. I'll just stop. Anyway.
Okay, so why do you have that memorized?
That one, because I loved it. I came back from Chile, where I learned to speak Spanish.
Yes. Everyone knows better than me. Go ahead.
So, and that was in 1994. I remember 2 things about 1994. The World Cup, which was played here in the United States. The U.S. did very well. And watching Henry V with
Kenneth Branagh?
Kenneth Branagh, yes. And watching and rewinding and watching that part, because it is so awesome.
Well, like that's, I bet I haven't seen that since 1994, so I'm going to have to go back and watch it.
It's so good. And the whole thing is good, really. I mean, it's a true Shakespearean movie. They don't, not like the Romeo, what they call it? No, the O. Remember they did Othello, but they called it O, and they did it.
Yeah, yeah. Or the funky Romeo and Juliet with that Baz Luhrmann did.
Who was it?
Wasn't it Baz Luhrmann?
I was thinking of the girl from Homeland.
Yeah, she's in it. Claire Danes is in it. Baz Luhrmann, I think, was the director.
Yeah. Okay, well, the director. I mean, as an actor, I look at the actions of actors, not the directors or producers. So, yeah, when they try to do all that stuff differently, and they maybe even tried to throw in some words, and just only a rose would smell sweet, and there's probably something like, yeah, that rose is dope, whatever. It's not the same.
Well, I think in the Romeo and Juliet that Baz Luhrmann did, they did actually keep the iambic pentameter and all that, but it was
still watching at this point. It's just me and you. Nobody's watching at this point. It's just me and you having a conversation. Let's go. Nobody is watching. In fact, if anybody's watching at this point, you better comment below because we won't believe you. All right, go ahead.
Okay, what's this from? Speak the speech, I pray you, as I pronounced it to you trippingly on the tongue. But if you mouth it, as many of our players do, I had as Leaf, the town crier, spoke my lines.
Macbeth.
No.
Merchant of Venice.
No. Speak the speech, I pray you. Hamlet, when he does the play for the, yeah. Anyway.
Okay, the reason why I said Macbeth is the one name I thought that's the one I was thinking of. Sorry.
You were thinking of Hamlet.
Yeah.
That's Hamlet. So I had an acting teacher when I was in college, and that was one of the, like, when you are...
Did they give up? Did they stop? Did they retire? Surely they did after the... Anyway, go ahead. Sorry, my bad.
When you are a theater major, an actor, I'm sure you already know this. There are some exercises that you do, and one of the exercises that our Shakespeare director would always give us is the line from Hamlet. That was how we stretched our mouth. Speak the speech, I pray you. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it.
Definitely.
Okay, conversation.
No one's watching that.
Go back. And I don't know how much time we have because Zoom is supposed to only be 40 minutes. But I think because of everything that's going on and they're trying to get more people to buy in to the package, they are extending meetings. So
hey, here's what I feel about it. This conversation has been so enlightening and enjoyable for me. Screw the 40 minutes. We'll keep talking.
Okay, so I'm trying to think what would people want to know? Well, we're just going to talk, right? We're just going to talk.
Well, first of all, I'm really impressed by the preparation you put into this thing. Go ahead and keep guessing what you were going to ask.
I tried to do some preparation, but I didn't feel good. First of all, and then you made fun of me because I did want to do some preparation.
Because this was so funny, us talking about the whole thing that you were wanting to do today that was funnier yesterday.
Well, but what I wanted to do as a professional courtesy to you was make sure that I didn't cover any topics that you didn't want to discuss, like why soccer is an inferior sport. I'm kidding. I love soccer, but I know that gets your goat.
I love tennis.
Evan says he loves tennis.
The other day.
So and then I had a question, and now you just you interrupted me, and so I don't remember what it was.
All right.
What do you miss about normal life the most? The old normal.
I don't know. I mean, I want to go back to working, and I want staying busy, but this is crazy.
It is weird.
I mean, and it comes from a point of view where maybe it's different. Like if you lost your job because this is certainly going to make a difference in how you look at it. But the one thing I've appreciated about this is that watching TV isn't enough. just sitting there with your kids is not enough. You got to do something, whether it's playing games. So I do like that. I do think that it's caused us to look and think at things differently, and I like that.
I think so too. Like it's caused everybody. It's caused everybody to sort of slow down. It's made people sort of take inventory of,
Hi.
literal inventory, and also, sort of this, can you say hi? It's Uncle Russ.
Hi, Uncle Russ.
My kids call Russ Uncle Russ. And he has held both of them in the hospital. You came to see both kids when they were born. I have a before and after, or it's not really a before and after.
That.
Oh, Evan says he remembers you holding him in the hospital.
Don't doubt that at all.
But you have to take stock in, literally take stock with what do I have? What kind of, materials do I have? What kind of board games do I have? Do I have puzzles? That kind of thing.
How many guns do I have? How much ammunition I have? I got to take stock of that stuff. I got to keep locked and loaded.
Yeah, we have puzzles.
So one of the things I think about that is I hope that when all this is over, like, I think people need to save more. I think people need to just have things ready to go, that if something bad happens, they're going to be okay. That's something that I think we've forgotten. It's something that our generation, and really the boomers on to Gen Z, haven't had to realize. We haven't had to realize hardship, and this isn't even that. We're not to the point of hardship yet, right? We're not to the point of depression.
No, we are not.
It certainly is good to, I think, have these moments in history that reminds you that we're just one paycheck away from survival.
It's true. And like, I feel sorry for my neighbors that live next door. They're both in their 80s. He's recovered from cancer. So, they've gone out driving a little bit, but they're not doing their regular routine. They're not seeing people. It's.
You're right. I mean, it's definitely different for everybody.
Right. Yeah. We've gotten out, like we've driven. I've walked the dogs. We've done, little things like that.
Before this, I'm sure some did, and maybe 3 or 4 people watching will, one of them has, but the drive, just to drive.
Yeah, right. We haven't done that since we were kids. I mean, I remember doing that when you're 16 and you just got your driver's license and you want to go drive around and you go cruising.
Who had time for a back road, right? So when we went out and drove down these back roads. I mean, it's just literally dirt roads. And, it's funny because you would have soccer practice you have to get back for. You have, you got to do this or you got to do that. And you always had something to get to. And now we don't, this is something new. And I hope that we don't lose that. I mean, that'd be kind of nice to just not have anything. I've enjoyed, even though I love the game, soccer, my boys haven't been playing, it's nice not to have anything to do. It is so nice not to have anything.
It's nice to not be tied down to a schedule, very regimented schedule. But at the same time, I miss a little bit of that routine because it gives you time. Like, I'm with my kids now 24/7, and I love my kids. They're fantastic. But when you are managing the house, plus, trying to work from home, plus trying to do distance learning, plus, everything else with life, you don't get a lot of quiet time. Like, I am definitely an extrovert, and I do like people, and I do like being around people, but truly, I need to have the recharge time. So sometimes, when you want to recharge from your family, you have like some quiet office time where you can kind of like think clearly. If you got to recharge from work, you get some downtime at home. That's not happening now. So I think we have to sort of force ourselves to make that time. For example, like you are making the time to do yoga. I have to kind of make time to, like, oh, you know what I did the other night? I haven't been feeling well. I'm actually starting to feel better. But the other night, Stu got home from work and I decided to go back to our bedroom and just kind of chill out for a little while. And I was going to watch the news because we're trying to not watch the news so much and the kids weren't around. So I thought, oh, I'll kind of see what's going on. Well, the TV had been on HBO and there was this great movie, which I think you should watch, highly recommend. It was called Blinded by the Light. Have you seen this?
No.
So it was so much fun. So it's about a Pakistani family.
Guy that's wrapped up like a runner in the night. Nothing. All right.
Yeah. Well, but listen, so this Pakistani family has moved to England. The son has been raised, very British. He loves Bruce Springsteen. He just totally wants to emulate Bruce Springsteen and loves all his songs and finds meaning to those songs, not unlike how you idolize Eddie Vedder and Pearl Jam, in that the stories tell this story of his life and he can so much relate to it. And then, of course, because his family is Pakistani and his father was born in Pakistan, he has some issues with the cultural difference. Anyway, it was just this nice, based on a true story. All this music of Bruce Springsteen is incorporated into it. It was the best feeling to just check out and watch. So that's what I want to know. What are you watching? What's on?
So I got on this kick. First of all, let me go back to this. I'm not a Bruce Springsteen fan. I know it's like a sin, and the Hassels have this huge painting of him up there, but I'm not a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. I'm just not. I know he's good friends with Eddie Vedder.
Have you tried, though? Because, when we were in junior high, I didn't love him.
I like some of his stuff, but I don't think he's like this. Oh, my God. Look at this man. Look at what he's doing. I don't see him that way.
I think he's a brilliant singer-songwriter and speaks to the American experience in a way that Eddie Vedder, these really incredible songwriters.
Listen, I don't disrespect him. I just don't know that I've ever been like his music doesn't speak to me.
I think you got to give it another chance. Anyway, that's all I'm saying.
One of his best songs, in my opinion, Streets of Philadelphia. It's one of the best songs.
It's a beautiful song. Amazing song. I got chills just thinking of it.
Let me go back because you said movie that's kind of like that. Have you watched Yesterday?
No, but I have it recorded because my kid, my oldest, loves the Beatles because his parents love the Beatles, and we have recorded it. We're going to watch it together.
Well, so one of the things that I appreciate now, or at least I find deeper meaning in is, and it's a question I've asked myself. I'm thinking different thoughts in my head is, whether it's faith transition or something else, but with Yesterday, it's about what would happen if we didn't have the Beatles, right?
Yeah.
That's not the complete premise of it. It's a little different, but it makes you kind of think what would happen if things were differently. I look at things now and just see it in a different light. And one of the movies or TV shows I started watching was Outlander on Stars.
Oh, and,
yeah. It's kind of like Lost meets Braveheart. It's this.
Oh, really?
No, excuse me. Lost meets Braveheart meets Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. That's it right there. Chalk it up. That should be the.
I didn't really watch Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman.
Me neither, but I know the gist of the whole story because it's Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. So I kind of
gotcha. All right.
Female doctor back in the Wild West, stuff like that. That's what this was for Claire and Outlander. So I've been watching that. Some period pieces like watch The Spanish Princess, The Tudors. I'm watching now. But the thing about Outlander is it's kind of a travel in time type of thing. And you start to see what would happen if things were different. And the thought I had, this is my deep thought, this I'm going to come around back to it.
We were waiting.
Yeah. Go back in history. Let's do the Civil Rights movement. Let's go back to, the Revolutionary War. Let's go back to 1770. If you were in that time, what would you have been like? Now, we look today and we'd say, well, I'd be on the side of the Patriots and the American Revolution. You don't know that. I mean, it was a 50-50, 60-40 split. Most of our country sat it out. during the Revolutionary War. Then you look at the things, the Civil War, and whether or not whose side would be on. Would we think Abraham Lincoln was abusing? Again, that was a 50-50 split. That was a close call. Civil rights, when Rosa Parks, was sitting at the front of the bus, we like to think, you go? Okay. We like to think that we'd be sitting right there with Rosa Parks. But the reality is so many people say that from today's point of view that at the time, they made people that we know that we love would be criticizing her for just, hey, how come you're trying to rabble rouse, right? That's what these shows have kind of made me do, these historical shows that we look back on. Anyway.
I had that thought when I watched shows like MASH or China Beach, or any, there were several Vietnam movies that came out in the 90s or like late 80s, Full Metal Jacket. I remember thinking, oh, I would have been on I don't know what I thought. I remember feeling.
You would have been protesting during the Vietnam War.
Right. Yeah. But you don't know what you would do because there are all these other social constructs that you have to deal with when those kinds of things are happening. But when you're a young teenager, you think, I would have stood up for the.
The truth is, most of us probably, just because it's history, and we kind of see a little bit of those things now, just go along.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak out. I don't want to get that involved in it. Why are these people causing a ruckus over this? I don't want to get involved in that. It's too much energy. Yeah. Whatever.
Yeah.
Would have been very similar.
It's a complacency for sure sometimes. And I'm just as guilty of it.
So, but the question is, where this gets us to is we have to look at what's happening today. What are we going to be embarrassed about 40 years from now that we were doing today? Or the points of views that we have today, what are we going to say 40 years from now? And like, oh my goodness, I'm so embarrassed.
I wish I would have done that differently. Yeah. I wish I would have said this or that.
Would have spoken up for this person or that group. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mommy, can we go and talk after lunch?
Maybe later. Go.
No, she said maybe later.
So they're getting crazy, and we weren't supposed to go deep. We were just going to be funny, and we went deep for a second there.
Maria, meeting you here. This is lunch. If people want to know what lunch is like with Maria and Russ, this is it. All of a sudden, we're talking something funny, something stupid, something inconsequential. Yeah. And we're talking about changing the world. So
I miss Scott Eslicker. He's always got a great point of view. Yes, and he makes me laugh.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. I'll tell him.
So.
Or I'll tell him said that he's certainly not going to watch this till the end. So
no, he's not. Scott Eslicker will not see this.
One thing I know right now, I can say whatever I want about Scott Eslicker right now because I know that he's not watching this far.
There's no way. Zero chance. He tuned out 25, 30 minutes ago.
No, he's watched the first 5 minutes, texting Russ, what the hell are you doing? Doing online.
He does not care.
Happened. That happened. We're doing this real time. Scott just sent me a text message saying that. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sure. Nobody cares this. No, very few people probably stayed this long and watched all of this.
No, but this is kind of lunch with us. This is kind of how we do it anyway. So
we go all over the place. Yeah. Okay, well, Russ Vaclaw, go ahead.
One of the 3 or 4 people that are still watching this, probably more like one, is thinking, hey, wait a second, you guys were talking about this. Go back to that. You skipped over it. Well, listen, you don't get to decide whoever that person is that's watching. It's how it works.
Yeah, it just, there's a riff, and sometimes we circle back, and sometimes we don't. Sometimes we go to lunch with agenda items that we got to cover, but typically it's just all over the place. So,
yeah. All right.
Russ Vaclaw, I miss you, my friend. Even though I did wave at you last week, you drove by my house.
I did.
But I miss seeing you all the time, and you are one of my oldest and dearest friends, and I am grateful for you. So stay healthy and safe and all that kind of stuff.
Right back at you, Slick. Love you.
All right, I love you too. Thanks, Russ.
How do I turn this thing off?
I don't know. I'm gonna stop recording. Here we go.
Leave.
Bye, everyone. Thanks for watching.